Good morning, Chavirim. Likoutey Moharan Zayin, Tinyana, Ot Yud, second column. Uma shemitgaleh. The tzaddik is miached shamayim ba'aretz. The tzaddik unifies heaven and earth. Pshat being that the tzaddik is dealing with people on all levels at all times in order for them to continue coming close to finding Hashem. Sometimes you will get from the tzaddik a pushback. Sometimes you will get an embrace. Sometimes you will feel a tremendous proximity to God and the tzaddik. Sometimes you will feel like you're as far as possibly could be. Do not be confused by this. Do not be mebulbal by this. This is part of the job of the tzaddik to keep you in check, to keep you moving. To make sure you have yirat shamayim and a reverence and awe of God. If he does not push you back sometimes, you get too comfortable. If he does not bring you close sometimes, you'll give up. Kon b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. He's always keeping you between these two places. If you are in general a person who's doing well, he will give you more of the pushback. If you are in general a person who is being far, he will bring you close. This is also what's done to a student in a Talmud. The student, we bring close, a Talmud we push far, but it's always interchangeable. Our generation is far. So the diburei, the chidushim of the tzaddik today is to bring us close. Rabbi Natan in the Likoutey is always bring us close, always bring close. 90% bring you close. 90% telling you don't give up. 10% he's telling you get moving. Because Rabbi Natan is the Talmud, and we are a generation that's prinat very far Talmud. We didn't get the son of Rabbeinu, we got the Talmud of Rabbeinu. And that's because that's what we needed for our generation. If you are doing your best to receive this influx from the tzaddik, when you will be eating, if you put in the proper efforts, not to be a shlom mazel, not to be a schlepper, not to be a guy that's, we say in French, laissez-faire, it's too hard for me. Put a little efforts, gird your loins, take some gvura, and eat slowly, eat holy, eat with contemplation, eat with a little bit of thoughts towards Shamayim. Tried it yesterday? I ate slower yesterday. Clean the table. I have a rule in my house. Try to makpid it. The table is the place for homework. The table is for everything. But no. We're eating. Clean table. Nice table. Eat b'kavod. Sitting down. No walking and eating. No eating standing up. Sitting down. Eating clean. This is number one. It doesn't start without this. It doesn't begin without this. This is before we get to any levels. Ikar kavod of Adam. You want to know Adam mechubad? Do you want to see if a person is an honorable, respectful person? Look at the way he eats. A king and a queen will eat with etiquette. They're not going to be eating a poutine walking in the street, a pizza eating in the street. It's not going to happen.
So cocktail is an issue. Cocktail party.
Yes, I went to a wedding this week. I took my son. There was the cocktail. Everybody's standing up. I ate something small. I brought my son. We went on the other side, where already the tables are set for the wedding. We moved the things to make it not dirty. And I said, we're sitting down eating normally and nicely. We don't eat on the run. Don't eat on the run. It takes away it's the opposite of what the point of eating is for. The Gemara says, Sanhedrin, that somebody who eats in the shuk, in the market, is pasud for a testimony.
The Gemara says that?
The Gemara says that it's halacha. We do not accept a witness, somebody who eats in public. What is public? I'm not sure if a restaurant is counted public. Could be not. But a guy is in the market, he's in the flea market, he's in the mall, and he's eating his pizza walking around. We don't accept him as a witness in halacha. Because to be a witness, we need to make sure that you have the right frame of eyes and the right frame of mind to really be honest when it comes to testifying about the situation at hand. But if you're so physical to the point where you don't even know how to eat, that your body's overtaking your soul, we cannot trust what you have to say in courts, in a Beit Din.
In Beit Din, you're talking about Sanhedrin or talking about Beit Din like today?
Today, and Beit Din and Sanhedrin.
What about Ketubah?
That's why you're always going to see it's the rabbis that are the edim. We don't take Hamon An for edut. The most important thing of the wedding is the edim of the kiddushin. That's the most important thing. Ketubah is second level, but the kiddushin is the Uraita. Ketubah maybe the Rabbanan. So we have to get good people over there, and we tell them do tshuva before. If you're about to be a witness, we tell them usually it's not written in halacha. Some people don't do it, but in Gittin for sure we do it. We tell the guy do tshuva. Now, what is one of the things that make you pasul? Gamblers, for example, are pasul. Person who's involved in shvi'it, all kinds of things that are not befitting a holy person. And eating in public is not that. Rav Kenny, once in Muncie, and there was a person that opened a restaurant, and he was close to the Rav, and he wanted the Rav to come see his restaurant. So I was with them, driving them, when the Rav was going to go sit down and give a bracha for the place. And on the way, it was like to come in and just look at the place. Moshe Rabbeinu, he looked at Eretz Yisrael before he went in. The Fachshim explained that he wanted to give Ein Tova in the place. It was Rav Shlomo Zabanovach, when a Talmud bought a new apartment, he said, can I come see the apartment that you're going to buy? He was going to buy or going to move in. And he came and just looked around, where the kid's going to be, where is your bedroom going to be, where's the kitchen going to be, and just looked at it. After he said, Rebbe, what did you want to come for? He said, I just wanted to put Ein Tova on it. I want to put Ein Tova. So the Rav going to give Ein Tova, and the guy in the car asked the Rav, so the Rav likes to go to restaurants? I'm there looking. I'm driving, and the Rav's here, and the guy's asking, so, and he's like, he was speaking with the Rav much more cool than we would speak to the Rav. He'd like, almost, like the Moroccan there, he would come, the Rav would, in the Cloids, the Cloids, there's thousands of people in the Cloids, it's Uman Rosh Hashanah. So the guy that met the Rav in Montreal, he comes in the Cloids, because they brought him for Friday night with the Chadodi, he sees the Rav, Rav Kenning, the kiss over here, doesn't fly by the Hasidim. But, so, and the Rav would be Zoran. The Rav, when he was here, he would do like this, he would shake your hand and kiss the finger. He would come for slichot. He doesn't have to go slichot. He would go with the flow. So this guy's he's speaking Hamish with the Rav. He's speaking cool with the Rav, things we wouldn't ask. And he says, so the Rav likes restaurants? He has like a restaurant, sushi and pizza. So the Rav likes restaurants? And the Rav made a face like, no, I don't like restaurants. He said, and then he was so truthful, the Rav, and he stopped, he said, Lo, Pam Echad seems to be in if you go to Monroe, by Satmar, there's restaurants with like booths. And so if you're traveling, like I can imagine the Rav was probably there in one of those places, either with his wife or somebody, and there was no other choice, and some like Hamish, and there was actually a bunch of a booth. You're not in front of people eating. There's pashut, like a booth where you're getting the food. So the Rav said, once I ate, I need many. He said, I think once I ate in a booth. But besides that, he never went to a restaurant. Now he's going into the restaurant not as eating his restaurant, he's going to give his bracha to the place. Why not eat in a restaurant? Kavod of eating. Respect yourself.
How is it different from eating at a Seuda or at a Mishteh or...
Adarabba, the Gemara says that Talmid Chacham should not be involved in Seudot that are not Seudot Mitzvah. It belittles the kavod of the Chacham when he's eating with other people. A Chacham should eat separate unless it's a Seudat Mitzvah. Seudat Mitzvah is picking everybody up. It's not mundane, so you don't feel the zilzul. But when it's just a meal for sake of a meal, the Baba Sali every day would invite people. He was always doing hirulot. That he was always should be involved in Seudat Mitzvah, Masechtot, Siyumim, because we're in Seudat Mitzvah. If you would see the Chacham, the Tzaddik, the Rabbi Rashi, going to Pizza Pita to buying a poutine, is it going to bother you? It's going to bother you. Why does it bother you for him and not bother you for you?
Who said it would bother you? Would it bother you?
I would not be able to listen to him after. He's buying a poutine, he's going to eat. He's eating the poutine in Pizza Pita?
No. When he went to buy it, he went to buy it, he's eating it at home, or somebody else, or he sent his shamash to buy it for him, or something like that.
Look, there's levels, but I never saw Rav Kenny eat a pizza. Never. Never ate a pizza. I think his family, pizza would come for the kids, but he never ate pizza. Sitting down, eating in a clean space, making sure you don't get dirty. Very quick, don't eat fast. Then, and during that time, no talking. And if you talk, it should be some divrei Torah at the table. Some people, the Mishnah Berurah says, they say Mizmor David at the table, in order to mikadesh the table, because Mizmor David is speaking about lo echsar, I will not miss money. So you're eating now, it's divrei Torah, and you always thank Hashem that you have food. Hashem roi lo echsar, I'm eating, who gave me the food? Who told me, David man, there's half the world is making $2 a day. Half the world makes $2 a day. And you are living here in affluence, and you have a lot what to eat. You have to thank Hashem.
Well, they don't have to buy kosher food, these people.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, we have money what to pay for kosher food. So step one, eat in a relaxed, peaceful, private, holy setting. And I'm not saying that the guy didn't go once with his family to a restaurant, but if that's your life, always restaurants, it's missing something. You're missing the point. You know how much time it takes to go to a restaurant, how much money it takes? People are complaining about money and expenses, and you can do things at home simple. Why do you need to do that? There's a lack of priorities. And there's not, people are where they are. And we understand other people, and we understand how they've been brought up. We're not talking bad about anybody. But you want to come close, you want to refine yourself, you want your soul to become stronger, you want your body to become stronger, eat healthy and go to the gym. You want your soul, so learn Torah and act in a Torah fashion. Torah fashion is...
Sometimes it's not the food, it's just also the wife wants to go out.
Okay, so there's room for that. There is room for that.
Once a week.
There is room for that. I'll tell you, there is a lot of room for that, especially for Shalom Bayis. A person has to work on a Shalom Bayis. If a person doesn't work on his relationship with his wife, he is making a big mistake. The only way that you can give over the Mesorav Torah to your kids, which is our Torah now is all about the best investment. The best investment is your kids. The best thing you could do for yourself. I'm a community person. I have to share with you that I see and I speak to a lot of people. And a lot of people confide in me. And I know a lot of what's going on behind closed doors because either it's halachot or advice or chizuk, And so, and I don't speak about people's lives, but I happen to know a lot about people's lives. And what the greatest pleasure that I see by people and when their kids are going in the right way. And the worst pain, even if they're wealthy people, even if they have all the money in the world, they can buy anything. If their kids are not acting righteous, it's the biggest pain for them ever. So if you want, why are people running after material? They want to be happy. But if the running after material will be at the sacrifice of your shalom bayis, your wife and your children, so you're doing that to get happiness, but you're actually going to get a lot of pain at the end from this because you're not investing in the family. Now, if your biggest return will be your children going in the right way in this world and in the next world, that's the honor and satisfaction of having a child that's going the right way. Ben chacham yismak av. If you have a child that is chacham, righteous, tzaddik, you're going to be so happy. But forget about the next world. The next world, when you left over a child over here doing the right things, you have no idea the dividends you're going to be getting over there. You have no idea the aliyot you're going to have. And there's a lot of stories that we can talk about. A story I read recently about Tshuva, that he became close to Rosh Kola, started learning things, started doing Shabbos, and one day, his mother would come to him in a dream. She was bad, she was not good, she was suffering. And he told it to the Rosh Kola to see the details of the story, but at the end, the Rosh Kola was missing money for a month of Kola. So he ended up giving a month's, I'll pay the month. And then the next day the mother came with a light and satisfaction, like a peace. The child here can mizakeh the parents there, you have no idea. So if that's true, when you got to give it to children, so God, what I'm trying to address to you is that if there's no harmony between the couple, we're not on the same page of Torah, and there's no, and sometimes it's not exactly the same level, but if there's not respect and love and happiness and friendship. Kenny, when I was going in Shidduch, he told me, you're looking for your best friend. You're looking for a friend. What do you look for in a Shidduch? You're looking for a good friend. That's what he told me. If they don't have that between the couple, so it's very hard to give over the Mesorah, the transmission of the Torah to the children. We are Torah people. We keep mitzvot. We value these things. We want to give it over. If what today makes a child go off the derech is the lack of simcha in the house. Nobody goes off for philosophical issues today. Nobody. People feel that Hashem hates them and they don't feel happy in their house. They're going to look for, either it's a Rebbe that hurt them too much, but even a Rebbe, if the house is strong, if the house is good and warm and knows how to make them kids brush it off, my kid gets embarrassed or gets hurt. Hashem has really good Rebbes, but from other kids it happens. From a young age, I sit down my son, I tell him, Nachman, what do we do? How should we look at this? I said, it hurts? You're crying? Yes. It's allowed to hurt. You're allowed to cry. It's allowed to be painful. Now, let's talk about that pain. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Who said it's bad? Benu says in Torah Vav, and recently I told him since he's small, but now this week I actually showed it to him. Something happened this week. Somebody made fun of him, he's whatever. It happens to all kids. And I told him, look, Benu says, Ikara tshuva yishma bizono yidom b'yishtok. You want to become more helig, more pure. You want to become more tzaddik. If you hear somebody embarrassing and you're quiet, you're going to get more helig. So it's true what they did is wrong. They weren't allowed to do that. But you're actually going to benefit from it. You're going to gain from that. And what else do we learn from it? I always tell them three things. Yes, it hurts. It's allowed to hurt. What he did is wrong. You are gaining. And third thing you learn is don't be like that. The pain that you got, make sure you don't do it to somebody else. That's what Rabbi Akiva says. What's the whole Torah? Teach me Torah in 1-4. Whatever, that's what Hillel said to the ger. What you don't like to do, don't do it to somebody else. When you tell that, the kid can go through anything. Can overcome any difficulties. But if there's not a good relationship between the father and son, and there's not going to be a good relationship between the father and son, if there's not a good relationship between the wife and the father and the husband and the wife. If there's fighting over here, you can't. So the shalom bayis has to be mesirat nefesh in order to give over to the children, which is our Torah. So really, if you want to give over talmidim, you got to make sure that the couple is strong, and the couple can only be strong if there's time to talk, and there's time to become friends. You can't become friends. How do you become friends? A lot of people, we're friends. We're good. You guys are my friends. Really, you guys are my friends. I'm your friend, I hope. But why are we friends? Because we spend time together for real things. We're connecting on real levels because we're learning Torah together. So if you don't connect with your wife, you're not going to be friends with your wife. You're going to be roommates with your wife. And if you're roommates with your wife, so the kids feel it. The kids are very smart. Just they can't put things in words. Later in life, they go to therapists and put it in words. But why do you want to get there? So God, just what we're talking about now, sometimes you're going with your wife. Yes. Now, not every wife needs that. You need to know what your wife needs. My wife doesn't need to go to a restaurant. We don't go to a restaurant. But we do go out every week. Every week I have a time where it's just, and in the summer we could go to a park. And we have a time once a week where at least that once a week, for that hour, 2 hours, at least that's a quiet time where I turn off the phone, no calls, no anachot, no community, no kids, no business, no taxes, no expenses, nothing. And just to talk. Sometimes people don't even know what to talk about. What are you talking about? Who are you? Who are you? This is weird. You can learn something, and it's important because so God, I'm just saying that some wives need that. So if you're going there for that, and you're going in a modest place, you have to know your level. Don't skip levels. What I'm saying now is an ideal for certain people on certain levels, but it depends which community you're in as well. If in your community, your place, it's not frowned upon of going to a restaurant, then I understand that. I'm just telling you, but on a higher level, we're looking for the higher levels. Know where you are, appreciate where you are, and look always higher. But all of this, we didn't even start today, but all of this to say that if you're going to eat in a respectful, holy way, you're going to get at that moment just great desires for serving God. And then if you want, nothing will hold you back. You can change the world. You can be a tzaddik. You have something to bring to the world that nobody else has. You have ritzonot and desires that I don't have, and you don't have what I have. Just the only thing is we don't allow the desires to become strong, and therefore the other desires get us with our time. But if you will want something, there's nothing to hold you back from it. the way that we're gonna, if Shamayim doesn't let you do it, it makes you want different things. And how you want different things is because maybe your eating is not right. But if your eating is right, you're gonna magbir the desire. If you're eating non-kosher, nothing what to talk about. If you're already eating kosher, it's a level. It's a huge level. If you're already, saying brachas on your food, it's a level. But you can keep growing on that level. You can keep refining the way you eat to the point where if you just sit down and be quiet, and I did it yesterday, I really felt it, and I almost cried in the between the meal. Like just thinking about Hashem. Imagine, picture where you are. Rabbi Nassim has a language like this always in his letters. Efu ani ba'olam? Where am I? Efu ani? Efu ani ba'olam? Efu anachnu? We forget efu anachnu. There's God and He created me, and I'm realizing that in my moment. What I want, Him. Okay, and when I'm finished eating, what can I do practically? Doesn't matter what. When the desire is pure at the beginning, which way you go, that's why there's so many mitzvot. There's 1,000,001 ways. You'll find your way, but it's all powered by the energy of desire at the get-go. And then you're going to be a sofer, you're going to be a shoichet, you're going to be a graphic designer for all the masdot, you're going to be managing buildings for Abraham. Everybody's going to be doing something, but the desire behind it is so strong. If you canalize it, how do you start to canalize it? How do you start to bring it out? Respect the way you eat. Shabbat shalom.
Rabbi, this was